Hello class, my name is Mr. Michael and today I will show you how to use and access Google Forms. Before you start using Google Forms, ensure you have a Google account. What that means is ensure you have a Gmail. My Google account is chooks.edozie@gmail.com. So ensure you have a Gmail. When that is done, on your browser, you search for Google Forms. Okay. When this loads, you scroll down to where you have Google Forms sign in. Google Forms sign in. Okay, I've already signed into my Google account, so it's not asking me to sign in anymore. But if you do not already have one, then you might need to create one to access this. Now you have existing templates, you have contact information. These are templates. What that means is that you don't need to design from scratch. Your forms have been designed depending on the occasion. Okay, but I want to focus on blank, designing from scratch for the purpose of this class. Okay, so when you do that, it brings you to this part of the form. You have the questions and you have the responses. I'm going to explain what this means. You have untitled forms. There's a title you want to give to your form. I want to design a form. Our example form would be, let's say, computer assignment. Beg your pardon. Computer assignment week 1. For the description, let's say for nursery. Okay, before we proceed, I'd like you to take a look at this part of the form, the top right section. You have customize theme. Choose image. You don't want your form to be regular. You want to choose something very nice for your theme. I'm going to explain that shortly. Upload. Browse. I'm using Windows 10. That's why I have this interface. You go to pictures or wherever it is you've saved your pictures at. Let's say I want to design a form about robots. So I tick this, open. Depending on how fast your network is, this shouldn't take time, and this shouldn't be. You shouldn't have a broken. Anyway, you should be able to see the image from here. My network is crappy. That's why you're seeing this. When you're done, you hit the done key. Okay, when you're done, the header would load here and then it's going to come here very quickly. Ensure to use a better image anyway. So for the sake of this example, the image is there. You can customize the color of your theme, play around with it. See, it has changed. The background color, you can always play around with it. Okay, you want more colors. Now your font style, let's call it the handwriting. You have 4 basic styles. Look at the left part as I click. Okay, so but I pretty much like playful font type. You click on that when you're done. The next part of this I want you to look at is the settings. Very important. You have quizzes here. Make this a quiz. I'm going to explain as we proceed. Okay, you do not want to mark your forms manually. Okay, you want the system to mark automatically. So, and then you want your form graded, so that's why it's here. You want your forms graded to have an overall score. Now look at this very well. Immediately after each submission, no, tick the next one. I'm going to explain as we proceed. Then you scroll down, play around with this to know what they do. But the very important thing I want you to pay attention to is this here and the later after manual review part. When you're done, you save your work. Go back to settings very quickly. Now on the general, you see response receipts. Okay, that's not too important, but it's a good thing for you to collect email addresses automatically. So tick that so that you would know the particular people who responded to your email. If you do not tick this, then you may as well not know them personally. Okay, Now, tick here as well, limit to one response. It means one person cannot have more than more than one assignment submitted. The person will not be allowed to use the same email or the same name or the same information on the form. Okay? So, of course, you want to leave this blank. Then you click save. So now your form is not exactly ready, but almost ready. Untitled question, I want to put it as question number 1. Is our computers, or is a computer an electronic device? Okay, so you have that here. The multiple choice part, there's a drop down menu. I'm going to take time to have different questions with what each of them do. But for now, for this very question, I'm going to use multiple choice. Multiple choice means that, beg your pardon, let's scroll down a bit. Multiple choice means that it's going to have options like A, B, C, D, or 1, 2, 3, 4, as the case may be. So option 1, I'm going to have, is it yes, no, maybe, or whatever it is that you want to have there. Scroll down. When you're done, you have this. Okay, this is another important thing you should make sure you don't leave behind. The required, make sure it's turned on. What this means is that no question will be left unanswered. Otherwise, the form would not be submitted. If you leave this, it means that the person can pretty much leave question number 1 out and still submit the form and later tell you, oh, I did not see question number 1. But if you leave this on, the form would not be submitted until this question is answered. Good. The answer key part is very important. How many points do you want to assign to this question? 3 points, 5 points, 10 points, as the case may be. When you're done with that, what do you want the answer? What's the correct answer? The question says, is a computer an electronic device? The answer is yes. So I'm going to tick this, and you see it's correct. What that means is that if any other option is ticked, the question is automatically wrong. Okay, I mean the answer is automatically wrong. Now when you're done, you click done. Now you hit this plus sign here for question number 2 dot. Mind you, I typed 1 dot manually and I'm typing 2 dots manually. Okay, let's assume in the course of designing this form, I want to make this question be at the top of the first one. There's this thing here which you would use, okay, to navigate. Okay, scroll down. But in this case, I want to bring this down. Beg your pardon. You see, until your mouse turns to a cross. I want to bring it down below the very first question. So I do this. Excuse me. I do, excuse me. I do this. Supposed to bring it down to question number 1. Anyway, so in this case, this is now our question number 2. And this is our question number 1. Question number 1, what is a computer? Okay, now look at this multiple choice section here. I want to have a short answer. When you tick short answer or paragraph, what that means is that different answers will be had by different people. They wouldn't have just one answer, unlike objective questions. So you want to give room for flexibility. So in that case, make it required, of course, the answer key section. How many points do you want assigned to this question? Let's say 5 points. Now, mark all other answers incorrect. No, just leave it blank. Eventually, you'll be the one to mark this manually. I'm going to explain how to do that. When you're done, you click on done. Okay, and then you hit this, come here to question number 2. If while in question number 1, you hit this plus sign, the next form will be in between 1 and 2. You don't want that to happen, so you hit this delete. You come to question 2 section and hit this plus sign to progress to question number 3. What is this image? So if you have a question which warrants you to attach a photograph, you click on this photograph section there. Again, this is Windows 10. If you're using Windows 7 or Mac operating system, your interface will not be exactly like this, but you should have a section to browse or upload, as the case may be. In this case, I want to upload this image, and depending on how fast your network is, it shouldn't take time. Okay, scroll down. You could make this image smaller or bigger by clicking on it. So you have this, you make it smaller or bigger. Now again, I've given example for multi-choice and for short paragraph. Long paragraph means the person is going to have to type a long answer. Again, tick the required section. The answer key, how many points do you want assigned to this question? Let's say 3 points maybe. And then when you're done, you click on done. Now that's the pattern to use to design your forms until you're done with the number of questions you want. When you're done, you click on, hit the send key. You see this link part? Link, shorten link means you want to make it shorter, and then you copy. Once you've copied this link, you close it here. That link, copied link, is what you would send to respondents or parents, either through email or chat or whatever it is. But to test if it's working or what they will see when they log in, hit on this plus sign here and paste the link. I used Ctrl V to paste the link up there and enter. The following screen is what anybody who accesses your form would see. So you see computer assignment week 1 for nursery. Of course, it's prompting me to enter email address. If I don't, I won't be able to submit this form eventually. I would not. Now, what is a computer? Now, you see that it's prompting me to fill this form. This is a required section, so I pretty much must attach my email. I have a lot, but for the purpose of this class, I'm going to use my Yahoo Mail. Okay, is a computer an electronic device? Yes, it is. Notice the points assigned, okay, will be here. It's clearly stated here. What is this image? You give room for that. When you're done, you submit. Now, let's assume you decide not to answer this. You see, this is a required question, so the form would not, the submit key would not work until the question is answered. Now, when that is done, you see your response has been recorded. This, I cannot partake in this form anymore or assignment anymore. Now, what you would see at the back end is that somebody has responded to your form. You go to the response section. Don't get confused by what you see. Pay attention to what I'm about to tick. You go to the question section. Question number 1 says, what is a computer? Now, you're marking this manually. You see it's over 5 points. Is this correct? No. So you have 0. Is it right? Yes. So you have 5 points. So depending on the response, you mark correct or mark incorrect, and then you save it. Save it and go to the next question. Number 2. Is a computer an electronic device? Okay, so you see this is yes. So automatically the answer is correct. Okay, and then there's room for feedback. You can actually add a feedback or type great work, or if the question is wrong, you give reasons. You failed this question because XYZ. Anyway, you attach it there and you click save. So the person will definitely see this to say, okay, this is why I failed, or this is why. Let's call it teacher's comment. You go here to next question. Sorry, I forgot to save before proceeding. If you do not save, that pop-up screen will come up. You go to question number 3. What is this image? Is it correct? Tick correct. If it's not, tick wrong. Then you save your work. After marking, you go to individual here. So you'll be able to see the individual emails. You just have one response, so that's why you have this here. The score is 0 of 18 points. Okay, now look at what happens when I do this. Go back to question. Let's say question number 2. Okay, it's correct. So save it. Now go back to individual. You find out that it's 10 of 18 points. Okay, because you've marked. So for every point given, it's going to reflect here. So this person got 10 over 18. Okay, and look at how it's marked. Question number 1 is wrong, so you have 0 over 5. Question number 2 is correct. Question number 3 is wrong, so you see here. Now release score. Okay, so you have all emails. When you tick this, all emails will be ticked. Otherwise, you select them individually. Then you send emails and release score. The person will get it in their mailbox. So you see score released so time. We've come to the end of today's class. Have a nice day.